To begin this bracelet, you start by working with two sections. Both should have the same colour threads and be a mirror image of each other. I've got 6 threads in each section with 2 colours each. To begin, I'm going to work with the left hand section. I'm going to take the thread that's on the inside, I'm going to work it over like a backward knot, go over and pull through, and then I want to work under in the same way, like that, and then pull the other thread over and through. And I want to drop this thread, and I want to take the next colour, I want to do the same thing again. So first time working over and pulling through, and the second time working under and pulling through. And again, dropping this thread once I've done it, and doing the same thing with the next thread. And I'm just going to keep repeating these steps once I'm down to the last thread. So once I've got down to the last thread, I can move this section out of the way, and I want to repeat this with the other section but a mirror image. So this time I'm going to take the thread that's on the inside, I'm going to work over like a forward knot and pull through, and then I want to work under and pull through, and then like before, drop this thread, take the next colour and repeat those 2 steps, and keep doing this until I've got 1 thread left. So once you've done the beginning for both your sections, you can take the 2 threads that are in the centre and then knot these together. I'm just going to do a forward knot for this one, but if they're the same colour it doesn't really matter. And next I'm going to take the thread that I've just worked with on the left, and I'm going to do backward knots over the next 4 threads. And then when I get to the 5th and final thread, I want to do a backward forward knot. And then I want to do a mirror at the other side, so this time I'm going to do forward knots over the next 4 threads. And then over the last thread I'm going to do a forward backward knot. Next I want to take the centre threads again and do a forward knot. And then taking the thread that I've just worked with on the left, I'm going to do 2 backward knots. and then I want to do a backward forward knot. And I want to do a mirror of this on the other side, so I'm going to work 2 forward knots, and then a forward backward knot. Next you want to take a bead and you want to thread on the 2 threads in the centre. You may find that you need to thread it on a needle to do this. And once you've threaded on your bead, you can push it up against the knots. So next you want to take your 4th thread and then you want to do forward knots to the centre. And then for the other section you want to take the 4th thread in again and do backward knots to the centre. And then in the centre just do a forward knot. And then taking your thread that's next to the outside thread, you again want to do forward knots to the centre. And then a mirror at the other side, taking the thread next to the one on the outside, doing backward knots to the centre. And then in the centre, just do a forward knot. So next you want to taper back to what you had at the beginning. So you're going to take the threads at one side, so I'm starting on the left, and then you want to take the thread on the inside and do a backward knot. And then keeping hold of both these threads, take the one next to it and do a backward knot over both of them. And then taking all 3 threads, repeat what you just did with the next thread, just working backward knots over all of them. And then repeat this until you get to the centre, each time working over all the threads that are next to your new thread. And then you can put this section out of the way and then repeat a mirror image on the other side. So taking your 2 threads on the outside, you want to work a forward knot over the outside thread. And then keeping both threads again, taking your next thread and working a forward knot over both. And again, just keep doing this over all your threads until you get back to the centre. And once you've done that and completed your first beaded diamond, you can return to what you did at the beginning and just keep repeating these sections all the way down until you've got the bracelet as long as you want. When you've finished, you should end up with something that looks like this. So I've done 2 braided tie-on ends because I started mine with a loop, but you could start with a straight edge and do 1 braided tie-on end at each end if you prefer. And that is your completed beaded diamond friendship bracelet.